Alrighty. I think we'll let just a few more folks trickle in, but as that's happening, I want to be the first person today to welcome you to Git Merge 2025. It is great to have everyone here. Git Merge would not be possible without a team of many talented GitHub folks who have been working behind the scenes for months to make sure that this event is ready for you all today. They are incredible. This event seriously would not have been able to take place without them. So if we could give them a round of applause, please. That would mean very much. I want to extend a thanks to everyone who traveled to be here, whether you're coming from San Francisco or outside of California or outside of the United States. I'm thrilled to see so many Git users and contributors and people working in the Git ecosystem all together in one place. It's really just an amazing opportunity to get to see all these friendly faces in the same room. I want to talk a little bit about Git Merge in general terms, and I want to talk about Git Merge in kind of personal ones. In general terms, like I said, this is an opportunity for everybody to get together in the sort of Git world, talk about what we're working on, how we're using Git, and really in a meaningful way chart the course of the project going forward for the next year. On a personal note, this is the almost 10 years after I attended my first Git Merge, and that event had really an outsized impact on my life. That Git Merge was where I first met a bunch of Git contributors, people who have become my close personal friends in the 10 or so years since. It's what got me interested in Git development and has in a really meaningful, tangible way shaped my career and life ever since. So whether you're here as a seasoned Git contributor, someone who just used Git for the first time yesterday or is thinking about getting into Git development, I hope that everybody walks away with something unique from today's conference. This is also a particularly special Git Merge because the year is 2025, and that marks 20 years since the Git project's initial commit, all the way back in April of 2005. I was fortunate enough to be able to celebrate that earlier this year. And as we sort of reflect on 20 years of Git, I think it's kind of incredible how the tool has transformed from something that was used to aid the kernel development way back when to basically the dominant, ubiquitous, fits for everybody choice, not just in software development for version control, but beyond. And we're going to hear a lot today about some interesting sort of beyond software use cases for Git. And not only that, but even 20 years on, the project is still remarkably active, has people who are working on it, submitting bug reports, new features, describing new use cases, pushing forward on scalability and usability changes. And so 20 years in, I think the project is in a really remarkably healthy spot. And I'm excited for our group of speakers today who are going to be able to highlight a lot of that work that's been going on. I want to talk a little bit about some logistics for the day. So we have 4 blocks of talks. They're going to run from 9 to 10:15, 10:30 to noon. We'll have talks from 1 to 3, and more talks from 3:15 to 6. Interspersed between those talks, we're going to have a couple of short breaks, and we'll also have an hour lunch from noon to 1. Anywhere that you can walk around and access on the first floor is open to you. The second and third floors are not. But pretty much anywhere you need to be on the first floor, you are welcome to be there. A couple of just housekeeping notes. There are some bathrooms that are over there. Right behind that pillar over there is the shop. That'll be open a little bit later today with Git Merge t-shirts. A note on t-shirts, I guess, is that this is a sort of honor system t-shirt disbursement year. Please feel free to take a t-shirt for yourself whenever you have a chance. We have a limited number of those t-shirts, so please take one in your size and use good judgment so that everyone can walk away with a t-shirt. During the breaks, like I said earlier, you're welcome to walk around wherever you like. And lunch will be catered just over there, the same spot that you had breakfast, and they will have options for many dietary restrictions, so everybody should have something to eat. Last but not least, before I turn it over to my colleague PJ, we're going to have a cocktail reception here on the first floor at the bar, courtesy of our great friends at Git Butler from 6 to 8. This is especially exciting for me to have Scott and his team hosting the cocktail reception, as Scott is not the originator of the bar that's currently behind us, but is the originator of the bar that came before. And so it's really special to have him and his team here to help celebrate the end of the first day. We'll have non-alcoholic options in addition to alcoholic ones, and some light snacks at the same spot as the breakfast and lunch catering throughout the day that you can enjoy while you mingle with your fellow attendees. And now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague PJ, who's going to talk a little bit about how tomorrow will work.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is PJ Metz. I am the program manager of student communities here at GitHub. And I'm also really excited to be here. I switched into tech about 4 years ago. I was a high school English teacher. And I started learning to code in the summer of 2020. And the very first technology that wasn't coding that someone showed to me was, in fact, GitHub. And so naturally, when I got a job in tech, I started at GitLab. And then worked my way over here eventually. But I'm on the education team, and tomorrow we're going to be doing birds of a feather sessions. How many people here have done an unconference before? Okay, unconference is the name of the game. That's the idea. Basically, we have a whiteboard that's right over here by our giant InvertoCat sticker. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab a Post-it note over there. You can propose a session for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have a session right here in this elevated area. We're going to have a session on the other side in what we call the shop area. We're going to have a session inside the LT room, and we're going to have a session right behind where you're sitting now, but not as far as the bar. And we're going to have those sessions planned out for you, but we have no sessions planned right now. I have no idea what is going to be talked about in those areas, and that's all going to come from y'all. So you're going to grab a Post-it note at some point today. You're going to write a title on it. You're going to put your name. You're going to stick it up on the board. And if you're a type of person who wants to go and talk to a bunch of people tomorrow, well, we need to vote on those sessions. So at any point when you go over and you look and you see what sessions are available, just take a pen and make a mark on it. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, cross for 5. I'll count these up, and tomorrow morning when you show up, there's going to be a beautiful schedule up there that tells you exactly what the talks are going to be, where to go to find them, and you'll be able to chat with people all around you based on topics that you've come up with today. So voting takes place today on the whiteboard over there by the InvertoCat sticker. Tomorrow is when we actually launch these sessions, and they will be all on the first floor of various places. Now, when it comes to the actual topics, just clear and concise title. We want to know exactly what it is you're talking about. The name of the person who's going to be the facilitator. You don't have to like bring all the conversation yourself, but you should be the one who gets everything started. I'll be collecting the topics, organizing. The whiteboard, when it's got a schedule on it, is actually going to be moved over here behind the Mona Thinker statue. So for today, proposals happen over there. When it's actually scheduled and ready for you, it's going to be right over here because that's closer to the places where you'll actually be doing these talks. Now, as far as the session itself, I don't want to do too much teaching about it tomorrow. But if it's not for you, like if you show up to a session and you realize it's not really the talk you wanted to have, feel free to quietly just get your stuff and go check out another talk. It's totally okay to come in and out of these sessions as you please, as long as you do so respectfully. Make room for people to join. Think Pac-Man, like leave the circle open. I've also heard it say, make croissants, not donuts. If you've got a little space in your circle, it's more easy for people to feel like they can come into the group and join. Like I said, whoever proposed the session is going to need to lead it. And once it's going, everyone can participate. Everyone can join in the conversation. Everyone can talk back and forth. But remember, it's a conversation, not a debate. You're not here to get to deep answers and tell the other person they're wrong. You're here to have a conversation about whatever the topic may be. And of course, please, when you're in these groups, speak loud enough so that other people around can hear. Some of these groups might get a little larger. Some topics might be more popular than others. And so we will make sure everyone there is able to hear and participate. If you have any questions about Birds of a Feather unconference for tomorrow, anything like that, look for me. I'm the really tall guy who probably has a GitHub hat on, and I'm super excited to be here for y'all. Can't wait to see all these talks, and that's it for me. I'm going to turn it back over to Taylor. Thanks, y'all.
In addition to the Birds of a Feather session tomorrow, we're also going to be having the Git Contributors Summit. That'll be over there in what we call the Executive Briefing Room. If you have one of these stars on your badge, that means you are invited to the Git Contributors Summit. That's a closed-door meeting for Git contributors to talk about what they're working on and chart the future for the project over the next year. I see that Emily's got a sticker on her badge. Emily will be able to find me. That's a great lead-in. I will be at the front door of the EBC tomorrow. If you don't have a sticker but feel that you should be there, please find me. We can definitely get that sorted out. Scheduling-wise, we're going to run it pretty similar to today. We'll have a 2-hour block in the morning from 10 to noon. We'll have a 3-hour block after lunch from 1 to 4. Like I said, if you think that you should be in the meeting, don't have a sticker, please just find me either throughout today or tomorrow morning. We can definitely get that sorted out. Before we conclude, just a couple of housekeeping items. Wi-Fi today is on GitHub Guest. The password, which I don't think has changed at least in the last 10 years, is octocat11. If you've been in this office before, there's a good chance you're already on the Wi-Fi. And if you're going to come back in 5 or 10 more years, it's a good chance you'll still be on the Wi-Fi then. Bathrooms are going to be over there throughout the day. And myself, PJ, Lee, Kyle behind the booth there, we're going to be here to help you throughout the day with anything that you need. So if you have a question or concern, something you need to talk about, please just find us, and we're happy to help. Like I said earlier, we've got some T-shirts available over there. As also I said earlier, this is a sort of one T-shirt per person operation, so please grab one in your size. If it's not your size, you figure that out later in the day. Feel free to exchange it out. And we just ask that you take one so that everyone is able to have a T-shirt. Last but not least, I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors. Like I mentioned earlier, we have our friends at Git Butler who are going to be sponsoring the cocktail reception later today. I also want to extend a special thanks to our friends at Google who are sponsoring a huge portion of the event today. One of my favorite things about Git Merge is that this isn't really a one-company event. This isn't just a GitHub event or just a Google event or just a Git Butler or just an anybody event. This is really a time that we can all sort of get together regardless of our employer and talk about the one thing that we have in common, which is Git. So I'm really, truly thrilled to have both of these organizations on board helping us produce Git Merge this year, and want to extend a huge thank you to both of them. And with that, I think we're going to get into the talks for today. So we'll have speakers come up as their slot approaches. Everyone should be able to present on their own laptop with a USB-C connection. If you have something other than USB-C, please let me know. We can make that work. Otherwise, find me or anybody else throughout the day if you have questions. And I am thrilled for you all to be able to hear. I know everybody says it, but this is truly a great selection of speakers. I'm really excited for you to hear from them all today. And thank you again for being here. Let's get started.